Hello and welcome to a live coverage today, Saturday, the 24th of November 2018. A very exciting day for Bahrain as we cover the process of the parliamentary and municipal elections for the 5th legislative term. This is yet another pledge to the first vote Bahrain has witnessed, which is the National Action Charter, which laid the foundations of the democratic action following the vision and reform project of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa. The vote started this morning at 8 a.m. and the doors will close at 8 p.m. The number of candidates running for the parliamentary elections this year is 291. The number of voters eligible to cast their ballot for parliamentary elections is 365,467. Of them are 183,729 males and 181,738 females. Meanwhile, the number of voters eligible to vote in the municipal elections is 285,991. Of them are 144,002 males and 141,909 females. This year's elections see the competition of 428 candidates, of which 291 for the 40 seats of the Council of Representatives and 137 candidates for the municipal councils across the kingdom spread around the 4 governorates. The number of voters eligible to vote in both ballot boxes is 424,000, with an increase of 47,278 votes from 2014. There are 54 polling stations across the 4 governorates constituencies that the voters can go to, in addition to 14 general polling stations that include the Bahrain International Airport, Manam Masif Mall, the Ministry of Education Hall and Bahrain International Circuit, among others. Today, citizens go to cast their ballots for both the parliamentary and municipal elections, while non-Bahrainis who obtain a permanent residential address in the Kingdom of Bahrain have the right to cast their ballots in the municipal elections. And for further discussion about the importance of today's vote, we are joined today in the studio by Shura Council member Ahmed Al Haddad. Welcome to the studio, Ahmed Al Haddad. We're very pleased to have you here today.
I'm also pleased to be here today.
As we see, a huge number of citizens and residents are performing their duties of voting today in the parliamentary and municipal elections. Tell us, how do you value the awareness of effective participation in the democratic process and political movement among the people of Bahrain?
Indeed, as per the information we got, there's a huge turnout from the citizens of Bahrain to vote on this day, the 24th of November. And this shows that the people of Bahrain and the citizens of Bahrain fully aware of the political rights they have. And this also means that they have utilized their full political rights as enshrined in Bahrain Constitution on this very day. Actually, I've been today, I voted there, and there was a big queue in Ali 6. So a lot of people are very much involved in this process, and I think this is really a distinguished day for Bahrain, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank His Majesty the King on this occasion. This is a successful event, and His Majesty put a lot of efforts so as the Bahraini citizens can enjoy their political, economic, social rights. And he's a leader who's determined to see that Bahrainis fulfill their rights on different level of the life. And here also I would like to point one important issue here, the women's role here. And this year also we see a lot of women who are trying to reach the parliaments of 2000, this parliament. As you know, 2014 there were only 3 women, and we hope that this time we will have more women so as to enhance the political process of democracy in Bahrain.
We hope so.
Yes. And really I am very optimistic because I can see how things are going now in Bahrain.
Good, alhamdulillah. In a statement, His Majesty the King said that we are fully determined to preserve our democratic achievements and to strengthen them through constitutional institutions. The 16 years of parliamentary action are a significant asset in enhancing democratic practices and consolidating popular participation. From your point of view, what are the indications of progress in the parliamentary action and democratic process through the previous 16 years?
You know, I'll tell you one thing. His Majesty the King is very much determined, as I said, to develop this process, democratic process in the country.
Yeah.
And it is within the Bahrain's traditions. This process has not been imposed on Bahrain externally or internally. It is within the society, within the tradition of Bahrain societies, within the tradition of the people. So this is very important. It has the roots, strong roots within the Bahrain society as a whole, among the whole citizen of Bahrain. Of course, the developments of democratic process taken from 2002 up to now is 16 years.
Yeah.
And I believe this is very short periods.
Of course, yeah.
If you compare Bahrain democratic process to Britain, for instance, which is for centuries, or for instance, India, it's 70 years now. Well, their democracy is 70 years old now. But Bahrain only 16 years.
Yeah.
And during these 16 years, the country has witnessed a lot of developments on economic field, social, political, you name it. And this because, as I said, there is a determination from the leadership and there is awareness from the people of Bahrain that this is their country, they should participate, they should take part in this democratic development process, and it will ultimately and finally benefit them at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
If I just, let me tell you one thing, well, I'll just give you short statistics about the last term, 2014, 2018, what the parliaments, what the House of Representatives have done beside the Shura Council. It passed 121 laws, proposal law. It also drafted 164 law. There were 300 questions raised, written and verbally. There was 37 decrees, royal decree approved by both the House's Shura Council as well as the parliaments. There was 82 international, regional participation of both members of Shura Councils and the House of Representatives in international regional conferences.
Wow, I'm loving the topic. I do want to come back to that, but unfortunately, we want to just have a quick break and go to our correspondent, and then we're going to come back to this topic. So our coverage of the elections continue, and about national and international media's input about today's elections. Sarah Brake joins us from the Elections Media Center. Hello, Sarah. What updates do you have for us from the Media Center?
Hello, Sarah. Thank you very much for doing this whole coverage, this intense coverage that you guys are doing. Really puts and sheds a lot of light on the candidates and on the electoral process of Bahrain, and shows the transparency of the whole process in general. Just to be very clear on the updates that have happened, most of the updates that we have received until now are basically in line with the number of people that are flowing into the public stations, especially to cast in their votes, because of the ease of the processes there in comparison to the ones in these smaller areas. Also, another thing is the huge number of youth that have come in to cast their votes. Since 2014, a lot of the people then, or basically then the people have come of age, the age of 20, where they are eligible to vote, and most of them registered, and we see a huge huge number of them basically going to the electoral voting stations to vote, especially the electoral voting station in the University of Bahrain. There was a number that was cast out, but the number is not really sure, but about 50,000 youth have registered to vote this year, hopefully, and that's a very good sign because the future of any country is always within its youth. We also see a number of the candidates themselves being from the younger generation. This puts a lot of hope into the future generations of Bahrain, the future infrastructure, the future building of Bahrain. And finally, I just want to put on the point that your guest also mentioned, the parliament in coordination with the Shura Council, in coordination with the leadership, with the ministers, have come to so many results, not just the laws that came in for the families, not just the EDB right at the beginning, but so many things have gone through the correct processes and ended up in as such a win for Bahrain. And all this was thanks to the Parliament and the Shura Council members and their processes and their multidisciplinary meetings that they have together in order to come to a right decision for the country and its people.
Thank you very much, Sarah, for the update. We appreciate it. Thank you. So, Mr. Ahmed, you were giving me statistics about the council.
Yes.
If we can continue on that.
There is very important one development during that terms, and that's there were two constitutional amendments taken place. One is regarding the military trials of those who are involved in sabotage or terrorism. Yeah. And the other one is it gives the power of Shura members to write questions to the concerned ministers or official in the government of Bahrain. These are very important two constitution the amendments. There were as well two budgets passed during that term because every 2 years the House of Representatives and the Shura Council discussed the proposed budget of the government and then it will be passed. So in this term there were two budgets passed, and also there were 57 bilateral agreements between Bahrain and other states and international institutions were approved by both the houses. Yeah. And there were also 98 political statements from both the Shura Councils and the House of Representatives. That political statements involve so many situations in the world. So if there is a terrorism attack on certain place in certain country, the Shura and the House of Representatives will issue a statement. So it is a total of 98 political statements which were issued. There were 37 decrees, royal decrees, also approved by both houses. So this is a short statistic of what the Shura Council and the House of Representatives have achieved during this term.
Yeah, that is really good. That is something to be proud of, indeed.
Yes.
Mr. Ahmed, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back to the studio in a bit. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, and we are back. With us in the studio with the Shura Council member Ahmed Al Haddad. We are going to continue our conversation about the municipal and parliamentary elections happening today in the Kingdom of Bahrain. Let us talk about the importance of spreading awareness of democracy among the youth, especially that in this year we have an increase of almost 50,000 youth coming into the democratic process in Bahrain.
Definitely, the youth has very important, essential role to play in the process of democratic developments in Bahrain. As you know, this year there are 50,000 new elements of youth who are voting today, and this will make a huge difference for the future of Bahrain. Because the youth today, they know everything. They're IT people, they are involved in social media, they know and they're aware of all the events within Bahrain and outside in the world. So their participation is very important, and I think it will enhance and strengthen the process of democratic developments in the country.
That's true indeed. And having those youth very much involved in social media, I have noticed that this year almost all of the candidates have been very active in social media. What is your comment on that? What did you notice?
Well,
and compared, of course, to 2014, where we haven't seen a lot of social media activity.
IT, have been developing so fast, and the youth, and even kids, 6 years, 7 years, they're very much involved in this process, and this is easy. A system through which you can spread or send information or a piece of news to everybody. So they are very much involved in it, and they succeeded in passing over whatever they thought regarding a certain subjects or agenda regarding this election or other issues. And that makes things easy for the people who follow them. And beside that also, Sarah, I think the newspaper in Arabic and GDN and Bahrain Tribune, they played very important role in educating the people of Bahrain. Since almost 3 months, they have been taking the issue of the elections and making the people aware, and also interviewing the candidates and the voters about their programs, their thoughts about the issue they have discussed or they're looking forward to put forward when they go for the elections. So it's all interlinked. And also there are very important institutions that played very important role in the awareness of Bahraini citizens,
Which is?
both the candidates and the voters. Take, for instance, Bahrain Institute for Political Development. This institute belongs directly to His Majesty the King. For about 16 months, they've been holding workshops, seminars for both the voters and the candidates. And they're having so many training programs that really help a lot in the awareness of the people of Bahrain and made them come, as we saw today, a huge turnout to vote. This is because of such institutions. Also, we have not to forget the NGOs' role in this. The NGOs have very important role in educating and spread of awareness among the people of Bahrain so as to participate in this election.
We're going to come back to the NGOs. However, now we are joined by our correspondent, Yasmin Ibrahim from Al Hassam School polling stations at the Capital Governorate. Yasmin, tell us about the participation there in the parliamentary elections. How is the organization of the polling center?
Hi, Sarah. As we are drawing closer to the end of our voting session, I can say that the level of participation is increasing by time. I must shed light on the organizers who have been assisting all who have come in today to vote and participate in the voting or in this democratic event. It is indeed a very important day for the Kingdom of Bahrain. We're witnessing not only citizens coming in to cast their ballot, but also foreigners who own property in the kingdom. It truly is inspiring to see all of those different age groups coming together to fulfill one purpose. It is a very close competition across all governorates, especially here in the capital governorate. There are 68 candidates all running and competing for those 10 seats, and it is very important that everyone comes in and casts their ballots to vote for the right person that will represent the people and represent the people and for the future of our kingdom.
That is very nice to hear, Yasmin. Thank you very much for your update from Al Hassam. Thank you very much. Going back we were talking about the role of NGOs and in supporting the candidates and voters and what they can do.
Well, I think it's not only in Bahrain they have a very important role. It's all over the world. So NGOs' role are very important, and especially they know each and everything about what's going on, and they've been in direct contact with the people, being it the voters, all the candidates, and they explain to the voters the aims and the programs of each candidate and whether it is beneficial to their cause, like the economic situation or political or social, whatever you call it. So they are very, much in close relation with both the candidates and the voter. And here, help a lot to aware the people of their rights, of the important issue that candidates raise in their programs, and how can they choose the capable candidate across what's called religious affiliations or social or tribal or family. And in this very important area, I think their role is very important. They educate the people and they tell them how to choose, how to vote for the right candidates.
Well, Mr. Ahmed, I want to move on to the topic of women, as the number of women candidates has increased with 56% compared to the previous elections. What is your view about such escalation and its significance in Bahrain?
Well, as you know, Bahrain women had and will have important role within society. You see, we have the first ambassadors in the Arab world was Bahraini woman, Sheikha Hiya Al Khalifa in Paris. In 2006, Bahrain presided over the General Assembly in the United Nations, and Sheikha Hiya was the first Arab and Muslim woman to preside on this huge world organization. Also, there are doctors, engineers, they're all everywhere, Bahrain, it is known for the support of the woman. And here, I would like to outline the importance of the role of the Supreme Council of Women. They are playing very important role.
Of course.
In defending the right of the woman, in educating them, fighting for their causes. When they reach them, if they have certain problem, they take care of it. And really, they are doing beautiful and huge kind of support to Bahraini women. But my concern is this. But I have a concern here. I hope that some women will reach the parliaments of this election. Because last election, 2014, there were only 3. And here, I don't know how much they will come and they will reach the parliament, because there is a very fierce competition between the women themselves and between the women and the men. And there is a problem here we have.
What is it?
Bahrain, so it's quite traditional one. And there is a large section of Bahraini population do not like the woman to reach the parliament. And this is very unfortunate.
And why is that?
Well, they have certain traditions,
Yeah.
they have certain customs.
Yeah.
Some they think, well, the place of the woman is at the house,
Yeah.
which we dispute that.
Okay.
You can see Bahrain society. But my hope, and we hope that they will reach, because if the woman reach, say 6 or 7, this will enhance the process of Bahrain democracy, and it will give it international credibility.
Yeah. I'm sure it will. I'm sure.
I hope so.
I hope so as
Yes.
well. Now, there are several requirements for the voters for parliamentary and municipal elections, which are outlined in this video by the Assistant Councillor at Legislation and Legal Opinion Commission, Ibrahim Al-Busmait.
The voters' requirements for the parliamentary elections shall be as follows. Shall be 20 years of age on the day of elections, shall enjoy full legal capacity, shall be a regular resident of the constituency according to the ID card. In case of his or her residence abroad, his or her last place of residence in the Kingdom of Bahrain shall be his or her constituency. If he or she has no residence in the kingdom, then his or her family's place of residence shall be considered his or her constituency. Shall not have been sentenced in a felony or a crime breaching honor or integrity unless rehabilitated. Shall not have been sentenced to imprisonment in any of the electoral crimes provided in the Legislative Decree number 14 of 2002 with respect to the exercise of political rights, unless the sentence was suspended or he or she was rehabilitated. Meanwhile, the voters' requirement for municipal elections shall be as follows. Shall be 20 years of age on the day of elections, shall enjoy full legal capacity, shall be a regular resident in the constituency according to the ID card. In case of his or her residence abroad, his or her last place of residence in the Kingdom of Bahrain shall be his or her constituency. If he or she has no residence in the kingdom, then his or her family's place of residence shall be considered as his or her constituency. Shall not have been sentenced in a felony or a crime breaching honor or integrity unless rehabilitated. Shall not have been sentenced to imprisonment in any of the electoral crimes provided in the Legislative Decree number 3 of 2002 with respect to the system of election of members of municipal councils, unless the sentence was suspended or he or she was rehabilitated. Any GCC citizen upon whom the above-mentioned conditions apply can participate in the municipal elections as long as he or she obtains a permanent residential address in the Kingdom of Bahrain. This also applies to others who own constructed properties or land plots in the kingdom.
So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We will now take another break to watch this song.
بحريننا هي أرضي وبلادي تسكن في روحي ودمي وفؤادي بحريننا هي أرضي وبلادي تسكن في روحي
and welcome back to our live coverage as we cover the process of the parliamentary and municipal elections for the 5th legislative term. And now let us continue with Ahmed, Ustad Ahmed. How do you value the exerted efforts regarding the electoral monitoring process this year?
You know, it's very important to have this kind of a system, monitoring system of the election. Not only in Bahrain, it's all over the countries. They have local monitors who try to see whether the election process is according to the law. There are certain international guidelines in this regards, and Bahrain has been following this through since 2002 up to this election. And today morning I was there, I voted. It was very smoothly. All those who were there, they check your ID, they check your passport, and they check your name, whether your name is there. And accordingly, they take the decision to let you vote or to decline you voting. Also, beside, there are NGOs who are monitoring the process of election today in Bahrain. Beside that, we have Bahrain's Institute for Human Rights. Also, they are very active. They are participating in overlooking and monitoring the election process for the 4 governorates of Bahrain. So everybody's watching, and I think as per the news we heard today, it went very smoothly as per the rules and the guidance.
And what about, you said that they've checked your ID and your passport. If they do this, everyone, did this cause traffic in the candidates when they wanted, and the voters who wanted to vote?
Well, this is a process we have to accept. There was a big line. We have to stand in the line, you know, and everybody was patient. And those who were responsible in monitoring and guiding you, they're very friendly, very cooperative, with a smile on their face. That made the voting feel, you know, easy, and you feel you are welcomed. So everything is went as per the law, as per the guidance, as per the international instruments in watching and monitoring the election in the countries, be it Bahrain or other countries.
And I think it is very exciting to see this view.
Well, this is very important. So I'll tell you one thing. This kind of a system will give credit to Bahrain, regionally, internationally, and within the Arab countries, because we don't have anything to hide. This is a clear system of voting. You can come and see by yourself. So there's nothing to hide. And this will strengthen and enhance the credibility of Bahrain.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. And now let us move to our correspondent Shogh Mohammed from Isatan Primary School polling stations at the Southern Governorate, describing to us the level of participation there and how smooth is the voting process there going, Shogh.
Thank you, Sarah. As the day continues here at Isatan Primary Boys School, something I've noticed is how the community has come together. Regardless of who people are voting for, they've all come together, they're engaging in conversation, everyone is laughing, everyone is smiling. There is a vibe of patriotism and excitement, and everyone is very eager and happy to be here. I noticed earlier a young man on a wheelchair, and there was a big group of people who were pushing him in. And I asked him what's going on, and he said he broke his leg 2 days ago, but he wasn't going to miss his first chance to vote and take part in the election process. So his whole family and all his friends brought him here to support him. And for someone who is a first-time voter, it's my first time voting as well, I understand where he's coming from. I understand the excitement to be a part of the decision-making process and live up to our national duty and take this duty that is given to us by the leadership of Bahrain.
Indeed, Shogh, it is very nice to see all the excitement in people's faces when they actually go to vote, and especially those first-time voters. Thank you very much, Shogh. Back to our questions. Misleading information must be dealt with. How do you value the procedures taken to deal with the incorrect information about Bahrain's democratic process that have been going on and published by foreign media?
You see, regardless of what these people say, today's overwhelming turn for the election, it's very clear indications that the people of Bahrain are on the right track.
Yeah.
They like their system, they're happy with the elections, and they want a result of this election. They want a better economic life, they want more political rights, they want social improvement in certain fields. They look forward for a better life. Let whatever person or group or entities say about Bahrain election negatively, it will not affect us at all. As you have seen today, huge turnout for the election.
Yeah.
And this contradicts what these people say.
Yeah.
As I said, we have nothing to hide. Bahrain is open society. We might have a minor shortcoming here and there. And as His Majesty the King, when we are in audience with him, always emphasize that we are not a utopian country. We might have shortcoming here and there, but well, exactly, if we come to know where we can make correction, we will.
Exactly.
And this is a wise leadership, and this is really will help Bahrain on international arena.
That is true indeed. And talking about the role of women, I want to go back to that point of how women are supporting each other or are not. And what is your view on that? Like you as a man and your circle around you, would you vote for a woman candidate if you think she is the right one?
Well, I'm very much for the woman's right. I have been diplomat for so many years, and we have been involved with all these women and all that. And in Bahrain, we encourage and also we try our best to improve the conditions for the women. And beside that, as I said, Supreme Council of Women playing very important role. Bahrain Union Women also important, very important in this field, enhancing and strengthening the condition of the woman. And if I think I cannot differentiate between a woman and a man. If I feel that a certain woman is good for a certain job or say for a parliamentary seat, I will vote for her for sure. I don't have any problem.
Yeah.
I will go for that.
Exactly.
And as you say, Bahrain society is open. Women are with us everywhere. Not like other societies. It's open societies. They have their important roles. I should say, if she's much better than the man, then I'll vote for her.
Then why not?
Yes, and it should be that way.
Yeah. Well, you know, the Youth City 2030 Advisory Council in August this year held an awareness session in the presence of the Secretary General of the Supreme Council for Women, Dr. Hala Al-Ansari, to develop the youth political participation and raise awareness on the importance of equal representation of women in leading and decision-making positions.
Many exercises the Supreme Council for Women is looking after for the sake of encouraging the youth for the upcoming parliamentarian and municipality elections. Today we have witnessed a simulation program kind of activity where the youth spoke about their hopes, their aspirations, how do they see that the 2030 vision is to be implemented in the future, or how organizations like Supreme Council for Women and the Ministry of Youth can improve their work in order to meet their aspirations.
This program is mainly to simulate the real election and to make the youth ready to participate in the Camel election. So far within this program, they have simulate different type of sessions, activities, and the election, and how to know more about their rights, their responsibility. So I'm sure most of the youth who participated in this program are ready for the real life and to compete.
Developed me a lot, developed my skills a lot, my leadership skills, communication skills. We have a lot of things to discuss. Something about family issues, social insurance issues, and we will discuss all this within 2 years.
It pushed me out of my comfort zone and it challenged me, and I think this is exactly a simulation of the future of an actual council of representatives like the MPs. And of course, after joining this council, I have hopes for the future and hopes and visions for the future to join a council, inshallah, and represent the people.
This experience really will help me in the future because I'm aiming to be an ambassador, especially because it's like all protocols that we're learning for the future.
The Kingdom of Bahrain is a pioneer in the region in championing women's rights, as it has been pressing for a greater political, economic and social empowerment of women across all areas, based on the belief that women are a key element in the development of the country. Bahraini Women is celebrating 15 years of being a vital pillar of the Representatives Council and Municipal Councils, looking forward to continue their success and take part in today's elections.
Everyone must remember that His Majesty has been very benevolent to ensure that women in Bahrain receive empowerment, and they play a political role in our country's decision-making process. And in also various sectors of the country. And this is something that every Bahraini woman is proud of, and we thank His Majesty for being the man in the forefront, along with a lot of the other Bahraini men in our country, supporting us as Bahraini women.
The support of the community and the support of our leadership really pushed us to give our best. So we are here today because of our leadership and because of the society believes in women and the society empowers women, and we don't really want to forget the Supreme Council of Women, which really contributes since 2002 till date. With all its programs and initiatives, so it's really shaped the way even the women look to themselves and what they're expecting from themselves.
The fact that more women are running for office is absolutely crucial, because not only there's been a number of studies that have proven that women empowerment is beneficial for a nation or country in the long term, because it not only it widens the representativeness of a body, in this case the parliament, because of course it sheds light on a perspective that could not, however, in different cases be brought to the attention. But also it justifies and reinforces the role that women play in social affairs and in economic affairs of a country. And Bahrain is a good example of that, because of course women have a significant role in women in the economic advancement of the country. And therefore, it's crucial that they also complete their participation and fulfill their role as citizens fully by also participating in the political sphere.
Mr. Ahmed, Her Royal Highness Princess Sabika bint Ibrahim Al Khalifa, wife of His Majesty the King, and of course the President of the Supreme Council for Women, has announced that this year, 2018, the Bahrain Women's Day will be devoted to honoring women in the legislative field and municipal work. Of course, I'm sure going around with the theme of the municipal elections of this year, how do you value such support to the constant success of women in this field?
Well, let me state one thing here. We have been telling people and During my many interventions at the Shura Council, I always praise and thank Her Royal Highness Sheikh Sabi Turan Al Khalifa, the President of the Supreme Council for Women. She's doing a superb, excellent work to uplift the conditions of Bahraini women on so many fronts. As I said, economic, political, social, and it's not only that. They have a special section within the council that deals with the problems of Bahraini women. When they have a problem and they cannot reach a solution, they always go to them.
To the Supreme Council.
And they go all of their way to help them.
Yeah.
And she is constantly doing her best to improve and strengthen the position of women. And this also not strange, because this is also behind it His Majesty the King, who's supporting this council since its inception, and they're trying to give whatever they can so as to uplift the conditions of Bahrain's women. And this makes a lot of difference. Because if when you a woman who is in despair, having a family problem, having a divorce problem, having economic problems, having kids that wanted to be fed, and no one can help her, then always they go to them and they help. And if they couldn't, they try to give them the right advice. And this institution, Bahrain really very lucky to have such kind of institution.
Indeed.
Because if you feel as a woman that there's someone who cares about you, when you are in trouble, then I think we are on the right track.
Yeah. Well, we are very proud to have such institution in Bahrain. And now, being one of the 9 female members of the Shura Council, we are now joined by Dr. Fatma Al-Kohiji to know more about her views on women participation in the elections and the Bahraini Women's Day 2018. Dr. Fatma, how do you value the escalation of the number of women candidates in the current elections compared to the previously held ones?
Yes, I'm with you. I think the participation of Bahraini women in the legislative and municipal elections is increasing annually. That's really good and give a very good positive images about Bahrain. Currently, for example, it occupies 50% of the membership of the Shura and the parliament. This percentage really is higher if we compare it to different countries around us. And especially because Bahrain does not take the quota system. So that's really good because it's not working according to the quota system. And if we go to the committee leaders in the Shura, for example, 50% of committee leaders are women in the Shura Council, and as well as second deputy in more than one legislative term. So I feel that the Bahraini women are really accelerating and they are working harder and participating really very good in the legislative field.
And this year, Dr. Fatma, Bahrain is celebrating women in the legislative field and the municipal work in appreciation to their achievements in these fields. How do you value such high recognition of women?
First, I would like to express my thanks and appreciation to Her Highness Princess Sabika for her support and continuous guidance in the advancement of Bahraini women. We are really proud of this. As Princess Sabika is the main motivator for Bahraini women to be giving and sincere in all fields. We admire the initiative taken by Her Highness to celebrate Bahraini women in the legislative and municipal fields this year. This is an honor to us, really. And this comes within the election of members of the Parliament and Municipal Council for the 5th legislative term. We consider this step as a affirmation of the role of Bahraini women and their significant contribution to the development of the legislative system over the last decade. I know that the Bahraini women have become prominent in international associations and organizations such as Parliament, the Interparliamentary Union, and the Consultative Committee on the Gulf Cooperation Council countries, and which we are very proud of, really proud of. Okay.
And in your opinion, do you think that Bahraini women are well prepared for the 2018 elections?
I think yes. Yes. I mean, I already talk about this. I mean, we're talking, discussing. I feel that as, I mean, turn by turn, we see that it is in the society that the image of woman is really giving positive image to the society. Those who look at the electoral scene and the number of candidates for parliamentary and municipal elections realize that the Bahraini women have started an early competition to enter the House of Representatives and the Municipal Council. If you notice that a lot of women announced their participation in the election months ago, which is really good. Now, I mean, we heard about them that they are really motivated to be part of. And I feel that even before the official announcement of the dates of the election and the period of the application for the candidacy, women really started to work hard on themselves, especially that they enrolled themselves in programs, which is the programs were held by the Supreme Council of Women to empower the women. So you see that this reflects Bahraini women, the awareness and the importance of participation in the political process and readiness to have the means of capabilities to run these elections, as well as the representative of people in the House of Representatives and municipals.
Yeah,
I think they are really now I mean, they are starting now to be in the position competing the man.
Yeah, well, we do wish them all the best. Thank you very much, Dr. Fatma, for your participation with us. Now I'd like to go back with Mr. Ahmed. I want to talk about where we were tackling the youth earlier. We were talking about how the increase of youth participating in the voting process this year, which is around 50,000 youth in the electoral process. What about the increase in number of youth candidates this year? I've noticed a lot of youth candidates. Maybe, I don't know, what's your view on that? Is it a good thing, a bad thing? And what do you think this represents?
I think this is a healthy trend. And this is very important for Bahrain democratic system. Because as you know, the youth, they are the hope of the future. And they will take over from us, the old generation. And this is very important that they really care and take keen interest in the democratic development process of Bahrain, because they feel that they want to serve the country. They are very much involved in the system. They want to improve, say, the conditions of their, position here in the economic or political or what they believe. And the youth candidates, really, it's a bright kind of future for Bahrain. This is a very good indication and shows you how the democratic process in Bahrain will be, say, in 10, 20 years ahead of now.
But do you think they are they will be able to compete with the more mature candidates or those who have experience before?
Well, I have been reading a lot about all the candidates, and a lot of young candidates whose backgrounds, economic, political, or engineering fields and all that, and we really need such kind of representatives in the parliaments of Bahrain, because this will enrich the system as a whole. When you bring economists, when you bring engineers, when you bring doctors, when you bring young generation with the old generation, it will really benefit and improve the democracy process in Bahrain. And this is very, very excellent trend.
Okay, and those youth that are going to vote this year or have already voted,
yes.
How do you value their awareness? Do you think they have effective awareness about the electoral process in the kingdom?
Well, as you know today, everybody is involved in the social media. You see, if there is before when somebody announced his candidatures to be a candidate, and he had certain programs in one statement or so. So you see the social media all around. It comes up and they comment on that kind of comments that he made. So they're very much aware of what's going on. And this is a good, healthy trend because they keep in touch with the situation, with the programs of the candidates. And ultimately, they will choose the right candidate.
And about the candidates and their campaigns, do you think what they have done was sufficient, or did they need any more ways of reaching out to those voters?
You know, I wished they could have reached a wider, kind of in touch with people over Bahrain. But I think there's a problem. And the concerned authorities in the country, I think it will be more helpful if they take care of this problem. And this problem is the finance.
Yeah.
Because these young people, they finance themselves. They have maybe little money. They cannot, compete with those rich candidates who have all the financial possibilities to make banners all over or make big parties or reach so many citizens. So, some people, especially the young, they lack the financial resources. And here we have to find a way to help them. Like you said, businessmen in Bahrain, big companies, they can help because ultimately this is for the benefit of the country. Really, we should encourage them by helping financially, and so that they can really compete very well with those who are financially capable.
Yeah, indeed. I truly agree with that.
Yes.
Yeah. So now let us take a quick break and then we're going to come back to the studio.
أعتقد سارة يعني
بركة البحرين يا قرة العينين مكانك القلوب فأنت لا تنسين مكانك القلوب فأنت لا تنسين مليكنا حمد أوفى بما وعد يحفظه الإله حفظا إلى الأبد حمد حفظا إلى الأبد تقدم الأمم مرفوعة العلم يا أمنا البحرين يا مورد النعم يا مورد النعم يا وطني وطني أولا
Welcome back. We are very glad to be covering the parliamentary and municipal elections here in Bahrain, and we continue our conversation with Mr. Ahmed Al Haddad. Mr. Ahmed, I wanted to ask you, what do you think is the importance of giving the right to vote for the municipal elections for the residents in Bahrain, those who have a property?
Definitely, this is a very important issue, and I think they have all the right to be allowed to vote in municipalities elections, those residents who are in Bahrain. But I think there was an issue raised by Gulf Daily News regarding this very matter, and that is the candidates are all Arabs.
Yeah.
And most of them do not speak English. And there was difficulty.
And the campaigns are in Arabic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How to communicate with these people and how to tell them this is our program. So there was a suggestion that they should have leaflets in English and give to these residents so that they know what is going on.
Exactly.
I cannot just give my vote to somebody whom I don't understand what his position, what is his agenda. And this, I think, in future, it should be corrected.
Should be addressed, yeah.
Addressed and corrected.
Yeah, that's right. And talking about the future, I mean, we've talked about the past months of preparation, and we've talked about today. What about the future? How do you see the future of this electoral process and the political, the democratic process of Bahrain?
Well, first of all, I would like to thank His Majesty the King for the tireless efforts to keep Bahrain democratic process continuing in spite of so many challenges, be it economic, political, the turmoil we see around us.
Yeah.
But he's always there to help Bahraini citizens, to uplift their conditions, and we wish him very good luck. And also, the government of Bahrain, they are doing fantastic job in this field. And also the Bahrainis as a whole, as a citizen. Today they showed their loyalty to the king, to the system, to Bahrain as a whole. And I think the future of democracy in Bahrain is on the right track under the wise leadership of His Majesty the King and the wise people of Bahrain. And we wish them good luck.
Well, we do. We do wish them all good luck. And talking about today, of course, is the election day. Next week, we're going to have the re-election for those who haven't got the more than 50% of the votes. What are your views on that day?
Well, it will be easy for the candidates. And we will see who is going to be really the next representatives at the House of Representatives. Because today I think a lot of candidates will be out. And next week we will see the clear results. So it will be a very clear picture next week, and we will know the exact composition of the next parliamentary in Bahrain.
And what do you want to tell voters who are going to vote today, who haven't voted yet?
Well, I think this is the duty of everybody in Bahrain, every citizen, being a woman or a man, to go and vote, because this will secure their future and on so many fields. This will improve their life. This is an opportunity for them to express themselves. A lot of countries, they lack these rights, and we are lucky that we have this right. We should maintain it. We should continue to fight for it. And His Majesty the King and the government and the people of Bahrain fought continuously to maintain and to make the citizen of Bahrain reach this moment as today to vote.
And talking about the candidates' campaigns, do you think the 2 weeks that they had is enough for them to show what they have in their campaign?
Well, I think they have started before. I mean, before this 2 weeks period, as you mentioned. Of course, 2 weeks are not that enough. And especially this year, we have witnessed
a huge amount.
Yes, and also the weather was a cause of so many problems for them. These poor people, they lost a lot of money because the banners were destroyed because of the rain and the strong winds and all that. So in future, as I said, they should prepare themselves ahead before 2 or 3 months and to find financial resources to help those who cannot compete with others, because this will really make Bahrain democratic process a good things to speak about, not only in Bahrain, but in international arena as well.
Well, Mr. Ahmed Al Haddad, we thank you very much for being with us here today. It's been a great honor.
Well, the honor is for me, and I always thank Bahrain International TV. I am a regular watcher of your programs and news, and we wish those candidates who are going to win a very good kind of activities within the new parliaments. The whole population of Bahrain looking towards the moment that they will take their seats at the new parliaments and to serve the people of Bahrain in good faith.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you very much, Shura Council Member Ahmed Al Haddad.
Thank you.
It's been a great honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
In order to maximize the democratic gains, enhance the impartiality of the electoral process, which is confirmed by full judicial supervision at all stages, and emphasize the community partnership, the Supreme Committee for General Supervision of the Soundness of Elections decided to involve civil society institutions in the neutral national monitoring. Election monitoring means all acts of monitoring and observation of the electoral process by field-based follow-up of the electoral process and collecting its data objectively with impartiality and neutrality, in order to ensure the proper application of the procedures related to the electoral process and monitor the violations related thereto. The requirements for electoral monitoring are to be a Bahraini national with good reputation and enjoying full civil and political rights, not to be a member of any of the political societies, not to be a candidate nor a candidate's agent, legal agent, or recommender, to monitor under the name of civil society institution that he or she follows, and that doesn't mean the requirement to have a membership in such institution. The rules of submission of the electoral monitoring request are as follows. The civil society institution that wishes to monitor shall submit its application in writing until Monday, the 5th of November 2018 to the Supreme Committee for General Supervision of the Soundness of Elections. Applications shall be submitted in the third floor of the Ministry of Justice, Islamic Affairs and Endowments in the diplomatic area during official working hours. The application shall be accompanied by forms of the monitor's quartet names, their personal ID numbers, and 2 personal photos through filling out the specific forms on the official website of the elections, www.vote.bh. Each society of civil society institutions participating in the national monitoring shall name a person of their choice as a coordinator between the monitors of the society and the Supreme Committee for General Supervision of the Soundness of Elections. The coordinator shall inform the Supreme Committee immediately of any violations of any party as soon as it occurs. Each monitor shall sign a declaration and a pledge stating his or her consideration and compliance with the rules and ethics of monitoring.
The judge and the organizers exert their efforts to make sure the process is going smoothly. And now let's look at the rights and duties of monitors during the elections. The electoral monitor shall abide the following rules in performing his or her work. To have the knowledge and familiarity of the legislations, regulations and directives related to the electoral process in order to perform his or her monitoring work, professionally, objectively and with awareness. Respect the sovereignty of law and have full compliance of the laws, regulations and directives issued in respect of the elections. To be fully impartial in performing his or her work and shall not express any differentiation or bias to any of the authorities, political societies, candidates, or any other controversial subject related to the electoral process. Not to expose or wear anything that demonstrates any political affiliation, whether a slogan, writing, colors, or any posters related to such matter. Refrain from carrying out any electoral campaign or placing, carrying, or displaying any symbols related to the candidates. To carry out his or her work in a quiet manner, without personal intervention that would obstruct the electoral process or influence the ballot or counting processes. He or she shall not carry out any action that might prevent or impede the members of the ballot and counting committee from exercising their functions. Not to give instructions or statements carrying cancellation or curbing explicitly or implicitly to the decisions of the competent authorities of the elections. To carry his or her identity document at all times, as well as his or her card or license issued to him or her as a monitor, and to identify himself to the concerned authorities if requested. To disclose the constituency in which he or she has the right to vote in, and whether any of his or her relatives is a candidate or has a direct concern in the electoral process. He or she shall not interfere to provide advice, consultation, or guidance to the voters. He or she is also prohibited from influencing the freedom of voters on the ballot day or asking them about their choice before or after the ballot. The 2018 parliamentary and municipal elections will be covered by local, regional and international media outlets. The detailed mechanism of the voting process was explained clearly in a press press conference prepared by journalists, preparing journalists for a successful coverage of this event.
Parliamentary and municipal elections. The Media Center for the Elections prepared the journalists and media personnel on the precise and detailed update mechanisms to give everyone a full idea of what to expect during the 24th of November elections.
The municipal and parliamentary elections that is going on this year is going on fine till now. It is being done under judicial supervision. What's also good this year is that we have 231 participants from the NGOs that are supervising elections. We run the elections abroad, and the turnout was, compared to other years, is more than double.
The legislative achievements since the year 2000 are massive, from the establishment of the EDB to the adoption of several laws that regulate the economic, social, and political aspects of the Kingdom of Bahrain. The changes to the electoral process are well documented, with local, regional, and international news agencies covering the citizens of Bahrain performing their national obligation.
There is a keenness of the people to participate in elections, and this is something that's very good. What I anticipate in this night of elections, because the elections will happen after certain hours at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, that Bahrainis will continue writing their own history.
This is Sarah Lebrek reporting for Bahrain International.
The number of candidates running for the parliamentary elections this year is 291. The number of voters eligible to cast their ballots is 365,467. Of them are 183,729 and 181,738 females. And now we review the data of the capital. The capital governorate and its electoral constituencies. The number of voters in this governorate is 81,892, of them 40,649 males and 42,243 females. The number of candidates is 68, competing for 10 seats as follows. As mentioned, the number of candidates running for the municipal elections this year is 137. The number of voters eligible to cast their ballots is 285,991. Of them are 144,002 males and 141,909 females. And now we review the data of the Muharraq governorates and its electoral constituencies. The number of voters in this governorate is 79,984, of them 40,339 males and 39,645 females. 37 candidates are competing for the Southern Governorate municipal elections for 8 seats as follows. The number of candidates running for the parliamentary elections this year is 291. The number of voters eligible to cast their ballots is 365,467. Of them are 183,729 male and 181,738 females. And now we review the data of the Muharraq governorate and its electoral constituencies. The number of voters in this governorate is 79,213, of them 39,961 males and 39,252 females. The number of candidates are 58, competing for 8 seats. And now I would like to conclude the program by pointing out that following the visions of His Majesty the King and reforms, today your voice is what will determine who represents you in the Legislative and Services Councils, and it is your decision who to choose to serve the public interest for the homeland and the people. We must confirm that it is our call. You must choose carefully so you give your voice to the person who is capable of this national honor to serve the people and the kingdom. It is our call, and today we fulfill our duty. It's been a great pleasure being your host today for this live coverage, and have a very good evening.